Welcome back to Informed Decisions. We have yet another guest tonight, a Miss Ashley Summers. And of course, we have our Sam Levy.
Hello,
And
hello.
Sarah, tell
Hey.
us where you're from and what you and how we all know.
Ashley.
Ah! Ashley, why Sarah is on my brain?
You know, it's funny. I've been called Sarah so many times in my life. I'm always called Sarah and Allison. I don't know why. I'm from Canada. I'm from Alberta, Canada. Yes.
Welcome, Ashley. So
Thank
good to
you.
see you. So good to have you.
Tonight we're going to be talking about a couple of subjects, a couple of Ashley's favorite subjects. She is going to inform us what it's like to be, or what to tell us what we need to know as Americans about Canada. And also, one of our favorite subjects that we know Sam's going to love is Taylor Swift. Because
Yeah, he's so excited. He sent me a message just being like, holy crap, I can't even believe this is happening.
Yeah, I got told that you two are going to educate me on this, so I'm really excited.
Now, Ashley can do a lot more than I am because she analyzes Taylor Swift for as part of her job.
Literally, yeah.
So why don't you tell us about how we all met and what podcast you're a part of and help produce?
Yeah, so I met you both through, first I met you both through Zach Cherry's podcast. And then I learned about Ryan C. Showers, or Scream with Ryan C. Scream with Ryan C. Showers podcast. And I had already developed a friendship with you guys. And then I developed a friendship with Ryan. And eventually I ended up becoming a producer of his podcast. So one of the things we do is him and I both love Scream and we both love Taylor Swift. So he asked me to help him do a Taylor Swift Song of the Week, where we try to incorporate something that has to do with that theme. And I can connect anything in my brain. I'm just one of those weird people that if I see a suitcase, I can connect it to an episode of Gilmore Girls or whatever. You know what I mean? I can connect those things. So I was like, oh, this is my dream scenario here, trying to connect Scream and Taylor. And so far, it's been really fun. And it's fun because so far I've had quite a few messages of people being like, oh, I didn't really know a lot of songs by Taylor, but I really like this one in particular, or I really like so far, I really like, I've had a few people be like, oh, I really like this Willow song. And I'm like, my job is slowly, and I'm just twiddling my fingers being like, hee, join us slowly.
We'll start with Canada. So I'm going to sound really frivolous. What I know most about Canada is it maple syrup? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I think almost every good TV show from my childhood was filmed.
Yeah. We have it's cheaper to film here, so.
Yeah. So I know. I mean, Scream 6 was filmed in Vancouver, Canada. Am I wrong?
I think it was filmed in Montreal.
Montreal. And I want to say there was a lot of TV shows that I love. There was Higher Ground. I don't know if you know what that is. It had AJ Cook in it and Hayden Christensen.
The X-Files.
The X-Files. Okay.
The X-Files. Yeah, it was the first TV show I ever fell in love with. And all I knew was that one of the things I knew about it was that it was filmed in Vancouver, and I was just like, oh my God, if I ever go there one day, I need to go, go walk around the city.
And then do you know the lore about why Vancouver hated the X-Files?
Why? This is juicy. I didn't know.
I don't know how true this is about it's not Vancouver hated the X-Files. They hated oh my God, what's his name?
Duchovny?
Yes, David Duchovny, because he went on, I believe it was Conan O'Brien, and just kind of started not actually trashing Vancouver, but just making fun of Vancouver's weather, which sounds really silly, but it's one of those things where I heard it and I was like, oh yeah, as a Canadian, I would have been like, that's rude, David. And so I think there was this probably more of a joking lore that people were like, we let you film here for 5 years and the first thing you say about our city is kind of obnoxious. But I don't know how true it is. I was just reading about that yesterday, so it's funny you brought it up. But what he said really wasn't that bad. It was probably more, he was just like, it's either raining or it's snowing, so like I wouldn't want to live there or something like that. And I think people were kind of like, that's not very
Well, it
nice
sounds like
either.
something it's taking a little bit too personally. I mean, I get it if you live there and it's your hometown, but it's also like, you know what, it's not for everybody. And let people, let people live where they want to live. Let people do what they want to do. I mean, I get it,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's just like he's not from there. So uh like just let it go.
That sounds like a true American, Sam.
I think it is like a very Canadian thing for like that to be something that would bug us. Like it would be like
I get it.
where it's like it feels like you're coming into our home and like taking advantage of like making it cheaper, having it be here, having the support of the community, and the first thing you say is kind of negative about the community versus like positive. But at the same time, I completely agree with you. I don't think he meant anything bad by it. And I don't think it was actually that deep. I think it was just like kind of like silly banter. I don't think it was like, I don't think he actually like anybody was running him out of town.
Sure.
Like when people call Canada like America's hat, or people call us like Walmart brand Canada or Walmart brand USA, or like the 51st state, like that bugs us. Like that. I mean, I think I can't speak for all Canadians, but I think a lot of Canadians find that really bothersome because I think there is this perceived notion based on like how when we watch a lot of, because we get a lot of American television, so like we watch like a lot of the exact same shows, and there are a lot of jokes about how Canada is like silly and Canadians are goofy and we're all just like kind of nice, and like sometimes it makes us seem like we're dumb in an opposite way. Do you know what I mean? Like we're dumb in like a, oh gosh, I didn't even know you were making fun of me like type of way. Like
Oh no.
that was my impression of a Canadian. And I think there's definitely like a few times like where I'll be like, oh, I know somebody didn't mean to be offended by that, but it's like just those like weird quirks and like culture that it's just different, and we're like, oh, like a Canadian would never say that to like another Canadian unless you were trying to like piss them off. But it's also funny because I think we're some of the most passive aggressive people ever. Like we won't say, like we'd rather be like, oh, sorry, excuse me, pardon me, like in the grocery store. And then when we get home, we're like, this stupid lady was in my way trying to get my maple syrup.
That's because it's not really nice to like say move bitch get out of the way in the grocery store. Like you have to try and be nice at first. And then vent if they're like not, and then vent at home. As opposed to New Yorkers who will literally do that. Like will actually like if you're taking too long, we will literally we'll speak up about it. And we won't necessarily curse you out right away unless we're having a really bad day, but we're just always in a rush. So,
but I
yeah, we
appreciate
have no
that. Sometimes
manners.
I'm like, people need to hear that they're taking up too much time and too much
Yeah.
space sometimes. Like, I'm like, can you move? But one example I have for you of like how Canadians, because people always say that we apologize a lot and that we always say sorry, like sorry, and we say it weird apparently. Is like one time I was in Mexico for my cousin's wedding, and we were at like kind of like a bar lounge type area. Like it was in the hotel, so like everybody was kind of just mingling, like meeting people and figuring out who was part of the wedding and who was just some random person from another place, But everybody's like hanging out, and there was this guy, and he like I saw him like kind of like running into people. And I was like, is he intentionally running into people? And I could not figure out what he was doing. And then he ran into, like, I felt someone like hit me from behind, like kind of like push me, not super hard. And I turned around, I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And he was like, haha, you're Canadian. And I was like, what? He was like, I like to push people when I'm on vacation to see who apologizes because then I know they're Canadian. Because he was like, an American wouldn't apologize if you ran into them. And I was like, well, one, I don't know if that's always true because sometimes you just accidentally collide with people and you're just like, oh my gosh, did I make a mistake? And he was like, but yeah, and then he called me pathetic. And I was like, you go away. I was like, you're a jerk. But then his friends apologized to me. They were just like, I'm so sorry.
I'm plotting his demise on your behalf, and this
I
didn't
would've
even happen
talked
to me. I'm like pissed.
I would have been like, I'm gonna show you Canadian.
I would have really, yeah, I would have, yeah. If somebody spoke like that to me, no.
That's what
I
we
was just like, I was like, dude, what the hell? And I was like, the one thing about Canadians is I feel like people think we're like not gonna be like, we're just kind of like easygoing, which I think is kind of like our norm is pretty like chill to a certain degree. But at the same time, like, our people call us kind, right? Like people are like, oh, they're friendly. And I'm like, yeah, to a certain extent. But like you can't, like, kindness isn't always a weakness. So like at a certain point, you want to have like 8 Canadians at the bar being mad at you. Like I was just like, it's gonna end up the same way as it would anywhere in the world. Like something's gonna, and if you hear like a Canadian guy call you bud or buddy, you best be running if you don't want to get into a fight.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
peaceful and work together in United Healthcare and what we were striving to be. And I know that this administration has really changed that and really caused a lot of problems with Canada. But with all that, I was going to ask, like, how do y'all view us? Like, paint a picture of Americans through your eyes.
I think we think of the majority of you guys as probably pretty similar to us. I think we think that there is like that stereotype of, I think I wouldn't say like, people a lot of times be like, oh, like a ignorant American who doesn't know something. I think as Canadians, we're kind of taught that you guys aren't taught about us.
Right.
So that like it's more that we're like, I think a lot of us just like have a lot of empathy when we see stuff that's going on in the news. And I would say that 99.9% of us just feel a lot of empathy for the people of America right now, understanding that the decisions that have been in place isn't what an American persona is. It is like, I do have some really, really negative interactions with Americans that have come to Canada, and said some pretty weird things to me. But at the same time, I have a lot of negative interactions with other Canadians. So I can't say that that's like an American thing. There is this difference that I can't quite pinpoint exactly what it is, but it's just like a random culture. Like I can guarantee you there's plenty of Canadians that will cuss people out on the street and be complete jerks. Um, there's places in Canada where you might not feel safe. Different groups of people might not feel safe in certain environments. I don't think it's that different, but I think, if I'm being completely honest, one of the biggest differences, like from what my perspective is that we view Canada as an amazing place, but we don't view it as the best. And
Mhm.
sometimes it feels like what we're seeing is like America is the best country in the world, which is an amazing thing to think if you live there. But it feels like sometimes people feel like that is a fact versus an
Yes.
opinion. Um, and I'm sure there's probably some Canadians who feel that way about Canada too. But we're also like right now going through a what we're calling like truth and reconciliation of like learning a lot about like the terrible things Canada has done,
Mhm.
and how poorly Canada has treated different groups of people. Um, and I just feel like we can't really be that big of, we can't really judge that hard of a community when we aren't perfect either. But yeah, I think sometimes it feels like Americans think we're silly, is like what I would say. Like I think Canadians think that you guys think that we're silly sometimes. Like I've heard people like make fun of our currency, like our money, because our money is different colors. And I've heard so many people be like, "Oh, Canada and their stupid monopoly money." I've heard that so many times, and I'm just like, "You mean our bills are different colors, so you know which ones easily can identify them?" And I'm like, "I worked at a bank and I worked in the foreign exchange. The majority of countries that I kept currency for, all of their bills were different colors. They might not be like, ours are a little bit brighter than some of the other places, but I was just like, do you know how, like, and I would count American money and I'm like, hundreds and like some of them like are like such similar colors. It was like, it was a little bit, it's not hard, but it's a little bit harder to tell them apart. And I was like, I was always worried when I went down there for a trip, like a vacation, that I was going to give like the wrong thing when I was like tipping someone or something. And I mean, it'd be very nice to give somebody $100, but when you're like on spring break, that's not really what you can do. But I really think that the majority of Canadians like America, like we love the United States and we appreciate you guys. And I think that's what's really sad about the administration right now is that like we feel like our best friend like kicked us in like the shin. Like we feel like it feels really like, and I've never in my life, I've only lived in Canada my whole life. I've never seen so much like this was made in Canada, this was made in Canada. Like the other day my fiance was like, hey, we need new toilet paper, but the brand that we usually get at like wherever it was that was like a cheaper price, he was like, that's American, so we have to figure out what he's like, I'm going to research what brands are Canadian so we can get Canadian toilet paper. Like I switched my deodorant to a different Canadian brand. We're only going to Canadian like fast food restaurants. Like we're like, to be honest, like we're pissed. We're just like this like, and we know that it's not like American. And like like one person we're really mad at is Wayne Gretzky. Do you guys know Wayne Gretzky, like the hockey player?
Of course.
So Wayne Gretzky is like, he was like an idol to me growing up. Like I loved Wayne Gretzky. He was like this Canadian who just like was so like, we treated him like a Canadian icon. Like he's like up there with like Celine Dion. You know what I mean? Like we're just like, yes, he is Canadian. And to see somebody go to the inauguration for an administration that has been mocking our country. Literally, my mom loves sports. My mom loves hockey. I have told people my mom would defend hockey players before me in certain situations. And my mom called him a traitor. Like she was like, that traitor. And I was just like, ooh, those fighting words for Lori, because like she doesn't say, she loves hockey and which is sounds so stereotypical, but she loves every sport. But we were really sad. Like he's got a wine label and it's like a pretty decent price. When we went to the liquor store, all of his bottles were turned around so you couldn't read the label. And like somebody had put like a post-it being like, don't buy. like people are, I've never seen so many brands that are openly talking about if they're like where they're made, how they're doing it, all of the things. All of our grocery stores now have a little made in Canada symbol on all of like the little like shelf talk labels, like the telling us like where stuff's made from. Which I mean, I think some of them might have had before, but I guess I like didn't really notice. But it's yeah, it was pretty disappointing. And I think for a lot of us, like we feel like we have a lot of empathy for people, and like when we see something sad and horrible or scary happening anywhere in the world, but particularly in the United States, we want to help. And it just felt like a real like slap in the face, some of these things. And I know some people might say that's dramatic, but like and see like how many people have like reacted to it. Like there's something called snowbirds, which are Canadians. Usually they're like a little bit older, that will go down to like a warmer climate, like a lot of times Florida and stuff like that, to like go away for Canadian winter. So a few months, like they migrate like birds. And a lot of them are selling their properties and like they're not going. Canadians aren't going to the United States for spring break. And part of it makes me sad because I'm like, there's regular people that are being affected by these choices that Canadians are making, like they're regular business owners, but it's like the only thing we can do to say like, this is frustrating to us. But it's crazy because the current administration, like he's got fans here too. Like I will drive down the street and there'll be signs, like a big flag saying that they love him. And I'm like, dude, you don't live there. Like you can't like, why are you promoting a person that you don't even like? I don't even know if you could vote for them.
That's sweet of you. Thank you.
I agree with you on a lot of things, but it is half of our country's fault because half of our country wants this. And
that's true.
Turns a blind eye, which I think we really should relate more to Canada because we have a similar horrible past with Native Americans.
Mhm.
We both, if I'm not mistaken, we both aided in a genocide of those people as countries.
Yes.
Um,
Mhm.
we have also, I am from Louisiana, and which has a French origin, and I know Canada has a French,
Mhm.
right? So I know our cultures aren't the same, but we do share. I think the Cajun people came from, I want to say Canada, and they migrated down here. I don't
I'm
know.
not sure,
I
but
went to
I
New
mean,
Orleans,
I think it could make sense.
and it's a different culture, but they migrated down, and so it is a variation. I'm not sure. Don't
Yeah.
quote me on that, but I just watched. I went to an art exhibit of somebody who loved Cajun culture and painted it and helped. There was a government presidents to save Cajun culture, which is a mixture of French and everything. Um, so I know that that's kind of off subject, but I want to say that we are more similar than we are different, especially from where I'm from. We have done something that you just alluded to. Me and my friends say all the time. We are a we have bought our own bullshit, saying that we're the best people ever when we're not. We can't even give our people healthcare. So we are a product right now and treating people like we are the best because we believe our own bullshit, which is not true. We are actually a problem. We went from being the police of the world to the enemy. We are pushing people towards China. So I know that that's off subject, but I want to say that I feel like y'all have handled everything. Like even your leader that y'all don't like, Trudeau, is it Trudeau?
Hmm.
Has handled everything far more than our administration right now. I've watched him on the news recently.
Trudeau is not the current leader of
So,
Canada.
Yeah,
He just, but I understand why you think that. It's very, very new. We have a new leader because Justin got kicked out,
yes.
a no
Yep.
confidence. So we now have a guy named Mark Carney. I don't really know much about him, but yeah, like you're not. I feel like there's Canadians who don't even realize that there was a change.
I did
Probably,
know that. I just feel like
but no, but like people were so used to Justin Trudeau because of his. People were like, "Oh, he's so hot," and I was just like,
but that
like
doesn't.
that's like it's just like it's not even that, like I'm not even talking about like his looks alone. Like I don't care if people like look at that person and say he's attractive. There's something about him being like the leader of camp. Like I don't know, it just feels like you're saying that like my uncle or my cousin's really hot, and I'm
Right.
just like, oh, that feels weird. Like it just feels wrong, and I'm just like, and I don't have like a huge dislike for him, but I also like don't respect him on other
Right.
issues and things that he's done in the
Right.
past. I'm not a huge fan of, but like compared to other people that would have been like other options, I would have picked him over other people.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and to be completely honest, like I voted for him once and I didn't vote for him another time. Um, but um, I just feel like he didn't represent. mm, I don't know how to describe it. He felt a little pretentious, and I don't know. I mean, not that we have to like get into Justin Trudeau
Yeah,
talk.
there's John, but that's okay because there's generally, from what I understand, there's been more of a romanticizing of Justin Trudeau from uh, United States liberals than I think from Canadians in general, because you guys have all been living under him, so there's going to be wildly divergent views on him anyway. Whereas a lot of the circles that I'm in are like, oh, he's like a Disney prince. And
Yeah, I mean, like, and he was like a draw. Like he like did a lot of plays, and he has like a very charismatic personality to a certain
Mhm.
extent.
I guess.
But he was like the
I mean,
son of another
yep.
prime minister. So
Mhm.
like it was just kind of there's a lot of people that have like issues with like he's a nepo baby or he's just a drama teacher and like those types of things. I'm like, okay, well that doesn't mean he can't be a good leader necessarily. But one time he said the word moistly instead of moist. And as soon as that happened, like every cell in my body that ever thought there was like a tiny part of him that was kind of like, I was like, oh, I can see what people mean about him being kind of handsome. Like he's still like has that like weird there's still that thing that I'm like, he doesn't feel hot. But I was like, I can see what people are coming from. And as soon as he said it, I was like, oh, nope. He just became like a, like when
Like
there's like
every
someone that
cell
you
in your
can't,
body just
yeah,
recoiled.
it was just like, nope.
We should do an episode on Nepo babies because I take offense because I am kind of a Nepo baby. Not for fame, but like at my hospital, like my mom's name is very well known, and I have my own career and my own.
Oh,
my,
go cry about it and go hang out with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Honestly, I hate the Nepo baby thing. Like part of it just like drives me nuts because sometimes it feels like people just want to find something to complain about. But sometimes I totally get it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I understand like nepotism and how frustrating that can be. But also when I see the people that keep on being like picked out as who the like Nepo babies are, I see a trend of like what they look like and who they are, and it tends to be like younger actresses or younger singer, like mostly like females. Like I haven't heard many people like on our talks
or our
about
president
Mason Gooding being like, oh wow, like I hate like Mason Gooding's like just like so bad for being a Nepo baby. Like I haven't heard that much talk about him about
well,
it.
of course you haven't heard much bad things about Mason Gooding. We're all too busy swooning over him.
I know he's so, but it's funny because like I'm at that age now, like where I like see him and I'm like, oh, what a cutie, and I like can't see him past like because he just feels like, I don't know. I'm just like, oh, what a sweetheart, because he seems so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, he's charming. But also Cuban Gooding Jr. probably doesn't mean anything to the new generation. So
yeah,
true, and like fair enough. Like I feel bad because I think he got canceled too, kind of.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
he did.
And it seems like it might be justified. I don't know exactly what happened there, but
also the actress from The Substance, which her name is a Nepo baby. Her mom,
Margaret Qualley.
Margaret Qualley, yeah.
Is a prominent actress from like the 80s and 90s. She was in, this is terrible, this is not her legacy, but I know her from Beauty Shop and like she always was like the mom. She was in one of the Magic Mike movies too as the older, but she was in a lot of 90s movies that I can't tell you which, like she was on.
I know who she is too, but I can't like place the name right now.
And Videotape, I think she's in that movie.
Andie MacDowell?
Yes, that's
yes.
Okay.
Which makes complete sense when you look at Margaret Qualley. Like you can totally see it in her, I think. But
I feel like she's obviously you get a door in, but you have to
right. But it doesn't necessarily mean you'll be successful. So
I thought it would be kind of funny if I asked you a few questions about Canada to see if you know any Canadian trivia.
Please.
It's not hard. Well, I mean, maybe if you don't like, if you don't know, no one cares. I just thought it would be kind of funny. Okay. The first one was like, who's the prime minister? But we know that. What is the national animal of Canada?
The bear? I don't.
No.
Sam.
Oh, I have to guess. I honestly don't know, so I'm just off the top of my head. The moose. I don't know.
No, it's the beaver.
Oh, okay.
What? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was like, I mean, yeah.
Why not?
We love the beaver. What is a toque?
Is it a clothing? Is it clothing?
Kind of.
Is it the thing that goes around your head? Like
it's like a beanie.
But it doesn't have anything. Is it the one that's, I don't know.
No, it's just a regular beanie. Okay. We just call it a toque.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay, true or false? The Canadian national anthem recently changed some of its lyrics.
I'm gonna guess true.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
We changed it because there was like a lyric about an olive sun, like they reference suns, and we changed it to us so that it's not gender specific.
Okay.
True or false? Male babies used to be given mini hockey sticks when they were born. This has since been changed, not due to the sexual discrimination, but due to like the financial burden of the government.
I don't think that's true.
No, it's not. As children, there was a popular commercial for Canadian millennials that was just two puppets that sang songs about not putting things in our mouth.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes, don't you put it in your mouth, don't you put it in your mouth. And it's like, though it might look good to taste, you could get sick real quick.
Is this
Real ick. And you know what? I didn't put things in my mouth.
Is this on YouTube? Can I look this up?
Probably.
Pardon? Yeah, I'll find it and I'll send it to you. It's really weird.
I really want to see that.
What? Okay. What is on a Canadian passport? There's two kind of animals.
The beaver?
Okay, I'll do it. What like fictitious animal is on the Canadian passport?
Fictitious animal. Oh God.
And then there's like a real one, but
I can't say Dudley Do Right.
I don't know. I don't know that many fictitious animals.
you know this one for sure.
I'm just going down the list. Winnie the Pooh.
Oh no, sorry. Like I mean, like majestic type animal. Like
not a centaur, huh?
Closer.
Liger. Is that real?
No, that's a liger's a real animal.
Okay.
I believe these used to exist, in my opinion, but they
unicorn.
Unicorn, yeah.
Wow.
That's so gay.
There's a unicorn, and I'm pretty sure it's a lion, but it's because like we're part of the monarchy, so we have like the crest on our passport.
A unicorn? That's kind of.
I know. I remember one time being like, "Well, at least we have a unicorn," and all of my friends were like, "What?" And then they like really like, because you know when you see something for so long and then you finally like really look at it, you're like, holy shit, there is a unicorn.
Yeah, that's funny.
We have just the eagle, like
yeah.
Everything's so intense.
Okay, this is random, but it's because a thing went viral recently. What kind of coin, like what denominations of coins do we have for like currency?
Dominations.
Like what? Like do we have like what like is it like a penny, is it a what, like a
right, yeah, no, exactly. What coins do you have?
Do y'all have dollars?
We do, and they're coins,
right.
Okay, I'm just gonna give it to you. They're the exact same as yours. And then we have a $2 coin also. But I saw, because there's like this this video went viral because a comedian was like talking about nickels, and then she turned to the Canadian audience and said, "Nickels are a type of coin," and the Canadian comedian on the set was like, "We know what nickels are," and it's like so common for like an American to come in and be like, "Oh, do you guys have this? Do you guys have that?" And it's like, yes, we have, like, we know what Saved by the Bell is, and like
we're on the same continent.
Like some of the things, it's so funny. Like I've had a person be like, "Do you guys have like electricity?" And I'm like,
"Do you?" No. In Africa, they're like, "Do people actually live there?"
But I asked some of my American friends, like, what are some of like the biggest stereotypes of Canadians? And most of them thought that we all really like cold weather. Like all of them said Canadians love cold weather. And I was like, that's so funny, because definitely not true.
No, you just happen to live there.
And our weather is like vastly different depending on where you live. Like Vancouver doesn't get tons of snow, and like where I live in like pretty much the mountain. I mean, Vancouver's in the mountains too, but it's like closer. It's got like a Seattle type climate.
Yeah.
Whereas like I have like more of like a Montana style climate and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, like I was gonna say I can see Montana from my house, but I can't.
Yeah, nice.
I can see the Rocky Mountains from my house, but I can't see the.
Cool.
And then I was gonna say, how many provinces are there in Canada?
I mean, what?
Oh,
provinces are there in
oh
Canada?
God. Okay.
They really don't teach us anything. I'm like really noticing we don't get taught in school anything about Canada because I didn't even know what y'all called that.
Yeah, so like we like instead of states, we have provinces.
I know. I remember learning this, of course, but it wasn't one of those things that I memorized or had to memorize. Like I had to, there were 50 countries in Africa, and I had to know the names of all of them
Hmm.
at one point. And at one point I did. And then
Or just like an estimation, how many you think?
9.
Close. What do you
Okay.
think, Harrison?
Is it more than 9 or less?
That
It's 10. We have 10 provinces, and then we also have
Oof.
territories. So the territories are like kind of like more like where Alaska is above, and there's 3 of those.
okay.
Okay.
But I was like, you can ask me questions about the United States and see if I know that.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Okay? What's the capital of Louisiana?
It's easy.
Oh. It's not New Orleans. Well, you guys have like 50 of them.
I know, and this isn't nearly as interesting as any of the facts that you or
Is
questions
there a
that you've
sports
asked
team
us.
there?
Yes.
Like a main sports team?
Mhm.
How many of them?
What kind? We have football. They have everywhere at the college that it's based at. They have everything.
I'm not sure. As soon as you say it, I'm going to be like, oh, right. But
It's Baton Rouge.
oh, I think I would not have gotten that.
I will say Louisiana does not have counties. It's like one of the only states that doesn't have counties. What do we have?
I have no idea because I don't really know what a county is.
I think it's we have parishes. We don't have counties.
Parishes. Oh yeah, I've heard about that like on TV shows, but I don't think we technically have counties either.
Did you say parishes?
Yeah, like I live in Rapides Parish instead of
Oh,
a
it's
county.
so there are no counties. Y'all just go to different churches. That's what.
So you have Rapides Parish, which I live in the biggest parish of Louisiana.
Of course you do.
Um, but I don't live in a near big city, but that we service a lot of small communities in where I'm from.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was always confused about like when I watch like American TV shows, there'll be like and forgive me other Canadians if you listen to this and it's different where you live. I'm not familiar, but it will be like there'll be like the state police, there'll be a sheriff, there'll be like another form of police, and I'm just like, what the heck? Like and then obviously it's different where like in different places, but like I was just like a sheriff. Sounds so fancy. I mean, we have Mounties, but I think I've seen maybe one Mountie in my life. And then we have like the regular like city police officers too.
I feel like American culture is hard because we're like 50 different countries being like.
Yeah, it really kind of is. So yeah.
So we have 50 states for the United States, but what country is part of us that's not a state, but it is America?
Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that what you mean? Yeah.
Can't. Okay, now sing the Animaniacs country song.
The what?
Did you ever watch? Oh, did you ever see? Did they air the Animaniacs in Canada?
Oh, yes. But I was scared of it, so I didn't watch it very often.
Okay, fine. No worries.
True.
Because I feel like, or maybe I was scared of Pinky and the Brain, and I feel like sometimes like those like maybe connected. I can't remember, but I was scared of anything to do with Pinky and the Brain, so I like went watch TV when like there was like a possibility of seeing it.
That is adorable. Is there so Ashley? Is there anything else about Canada specifically, or Canadian American relations right now that you feel compelled to like speak on at this time that you feel like culture like culturally or just in terms of your gauge on the overall mood or tenor of what's going on and what you see for in the future?
More, I think I would just want to tell like American people that, but all of you as people deserve to have the ability to go to the doctor and not pay a crap ton of money for it. It's absurd. Like, it's actually wrong. And I'm telling you, as I'm not some crazy educated person, I'm just a girl who has to go to the doctor a lot. And if I was living in the United States right now, I'd probably have $1 million in debt. Like, I'm not even kidding. And that is, like, it is disgusting and it's not fair. And you are being lied to by being told that it can't happen. Like, it's just, and people like will be like, oh, I don't want to pay for other people when they get sick or whatever. Okay, well, I don't want to pay for the pothole that you caused revving your engine up and down the freaking road there, Dwayne. But we all have to work together on it. And so it's completely not fair. And I just want to say that it's not normal for people to be scared of doing basic things, like going to school. As a Canadian, I shouldn't know the name of multiple schools in the United States because of terrible things that occur there. Like, I shouldn't know the name of high schools, and I shouldn't know the names of children. As a Canadian girl, like, I shouldn't know those things. And it's not normal. And you guys deserve better. So just remember that. And like, we're not that different. But even the people that like I think kind of suck here as like politicians, they don't think that, like, they still think that, you know, we should have healthcare and that like places should be safe. But like having a baby or breaking your arm or God forbid getting cancer, like, shouldn't bankrupt you.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I do have one question that is rammed down my head about this, actually.
Yeah.
A lot of people, there is, I don't know if it's a misdemeanor, like there a misnomer or, but people always like to say they know somebody that had universal health care in Canada that came down to America because they were on a list or they had to wait too long, that it was detrimental, so they had to pay out of pocket here in America. So that's a lot of the excuses that people tell me why they don't want any kind of program like that.
I'm sure that's happened, especially for specific things. Like, there's we do have like I know like a lot of people that became doctors are going down to practice in the United States. I think that's like a financial thing, fast. But from every bit of research I've done, I would be in the exact same boat trying to get answers as I would be in many different countries. Like, based on I have like some sort of chronic illness and like immune issue, and I've read that that's very like common for it to take a while to figure out what's going on. But I don't know anybody who's done that, but I'm sure it's happened. But I don't think it's like this crazy popular thing. I mean, I might not be educated on the subject, but as somebody who's lived here my entire life and has known lots of people who have become ill or have treatments or whatever, I've never met anybody who has done that from what I know. I know, like, I've heard where like people go to the like different countries because there's like some crazy specialist that like is like a specialist because somebody has some crazy Grey's Anatomy like issue, you know what I mean? Where it's like that 1 in a million thing, and there's Dr. Shepard is the only one in the world who can work on this one thing. Do you know what I mean? I've heard stories like that, but no, like I one thing I really love about Canada, I just said a boot so intensely about Canada is that like we like I saw a story about a kid who needed bone marrow, and like I told my family, and like we all like submitted for like the test, and like we all just did it. It didn't cost us anything. We didn't do anything. We just like went and did it. I know like there's programs like that in the United States too, but like my cousin just passed away a few months ago, and
I'm
she
so
would have,
sorry.
oh, thank you. It's, I mean, she was sick for a really long time, and it's one of those things that like it became almost peaceful for her to be able to let go. But I think about what her how expensive it would have been her, like, it shouldn't be expensive to die, like, and I just think about that and it really breaks my heart. And if I'm being completely honest with you, I went to a Taylor Swift concert in Seattle And I was really scared to go. Like, I was scared to go to the United States. I packed I got tourniquets and I put them in all my bag. Like, I put them in my bags to carry. I Googled what to do in a mass shooting. I which, like, I've already, like, that can happen in Canada too. Don't get me wrong. Like, things I've actually known a few people who have been killed by gun violence. But it's usually not as it's usually like more like one-on-one incidents. Um, and but like big things like happen like that too. Um, but it's like not as systemic, and it doesn't feel like um guns feel like a privilege to Canadians, I think. And I feel like there's like this like a thought of like a right to own something that didn't even exist when like the rule was written, or like the law was written, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think any of the people who were writing saying that like somebody has the right to bear arms had anything to like we're picturing the type of weapons that are available now. And it makes me really sad. There's been a mass shooting on every single one of my family's birthdays.
Oh God, I'm
Like, and like that's
sorry.
like if you look like, and that's not, I'm not making that about me. I'm saying that like it's crazy that every single person in my immediate family has had something crazy happen on the news. Like, I remember like us like eating birthday cake, like watching CNN, being like, oh, this is so terrible. And like it just shouldn't be normal to live like that. And it makes me one, angry, but it makes me really sad. Like, I remember hearing about Columbine when I was in school. And unfortunately, where I live, there was a school shooting like pretty close to that. But it doesn't like, it's like not our first thought. And it just really breaks my heart that there's so many, like, I just don't get it. Like, I just like fully don't understand how like people are so like care more about like a gun than they do about like a child. Like, it makes no sense to me. And I know I'm like putting like a big like band-aid on like a thought. Like, I don't know everybody's opinions on it, but it's so confusing to us. Like, we're just like, what? Like, why isn't this being fixed? And like it doesn't happen everywhere. And I just find it really confusing. I'm not trying to make it dark, but like I
No.
was genuinely nervous to go like walk in a mall in Seattle. And like that shouldn't be a
Ugh.
like that just shouldn't be a feeling.
I hear you. I hear you. It's yeah. Uh, it's weird because uh, shooting sprees, they don't really happen that often here, and yet they still happen way too much.
Right.
If that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm never scared to walk. I'm never scared to like, I've never really been afraid to, go somewhere because I
That's
thought that
good.
I would
I
get
mean, maybe
shot
that's
at.
like a misconception that we feel like people are nervous about stuff.
But then again, I also live in New York, and so maybe I'm already just inoculated. Uh, not because it couldn't happen here, but because since I've already been trained from birth to like just like have a certain level of alertness whenever I go out anyway. But
Hmm.
yeah, so it's usually not what it's not the first thing on my mind that I anticipate. But I guess if you know, yeah, if you live somewhere else, it could be easily be some more prevalent on your mind. And again, like it doesn't happen that often, but it happens way more often than it should. So yeah.